Hello, and welcome to our channel, Marstream, your public performance broadcast platform. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can also donate to our tip jar and support the arts and artists of Marstream by clicking the link below in the description. Check out our website, themarsh.org, for all upcoming live performances. Now, enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Marstream, your public performance broadcast platform. My name is Brianna Caver, assistant producer for Marstream, and we are back again tonight for Solo Arts Heal, ANCAN. Quickly, before we start, as many of you know, our theater doors still remain closed and we are unable to invite folks in for performances, so these free streaming performances are brought to you by patrons just like yourself, all who donate to our tip jar. The link is posted in the chat and is also available on our website at themarsh.org. Remember, all donations are tax deductible and 100% matched. We need you now more than ever so we can continue to bring these free streaming performances to our community. If you are watching us live on YouTube, welcome and thank you for joining us. Please make sure you subscribe to be notified when we go live and watch the hours of free performances, interviews, and events we have archived all right there on our channel. Friday is CJ's Fitness Sing with Candace Johnson. Live and in person at the Marsh Berkeley, Dan Hoyle performs his piece Talk to Your People at 7 p.m. And on Saturday, live and in person at the Marsh Berkeley, Don Reed performs his piece Going Out at 8 p.m. Again, please donate to our tip jar. Thank you for joining us. And now let's welcome your host for Solo Arts Heal, Rick Davis.
Good evening, everybody. And it is a real pleasure for me to be back talking to you again. And a special pleasure because in this advocacy business, one of the things that happens is that we make friends through the people that we mentor and we navigate and for whom we advocate. We found that out when we did a survey last year and found that 70% of the people that attend our support groups actually make friends, and 30% of those people actually make contact outside. And so tonight, I have a huge pleasure to introduce somebody who has not only become important to ANCAN, but has become a real friend. And it's somebody that many of you might know, because he did 150 TV shows. And if you can't exactly remember that TV show, we're going to give you your memory a little kickstart right now.
Well, she sneaks around the world from Kiev to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Does that bring back memories? And if this face right here is a little strange because maybe it has no hair, there were times when it had so much hair of its own, and it also had a lot of hair due to Elvis. Remember this?
Well, he's on the Gulf of Bothnia. He's got the aqueduct. He's just a thieving chicken, and it's time that he got plucked. Well, that pick is so sleazy. That pick is so sleazy. That pick is a sleazy, greasy guy. Thank you very much.
Rockapella, ladies and gentlemen. Elliott Kerman, you crack me. It cracks me up every time I see that. And I just want to make sure you did say plucked, didn't you?
I can't remember. That was 30 years ago. There's no possible way I could remember anything.
Elliott Kerman, founder of Rockapella, an incredible group, still around, I think. Welcome to Solo Arts Heal. It is such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for the amazing welcome, and thanks to the Marsh for having me.
Well, we're here tonight because we're going to talk a little bit about your performing history and how that performance has helped you deal with many issues. Most recently, prostate cancer, which is how you came to meet with us, and the big issue about wrestling with being out about prostate cancer, which we will spend some time talking about, which we are so grateful you are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking to you right now. How did you first recognize that you could perform and you had musical talent?
I think my mom says that I sang before I spoke, and I was always singing from a very, very young age. I just loved music and I loved to sing. So I kind of knew I could sing from like, I think I started singing really when I was 5, 6. But
Wow.
yeah. So I kind of always knew, but but it became more of a thing when I was a very shy kid in a lot of ways. And I was also ultimately realized later on that I had pretty low self-esteem. So I really liked the accolades from singing. So it was, I think there was a lot to it.
Whoa. And did you have any health issues growing up that your music helped you address?
Not really. I had asthma, but it didn't play a part in my music at all. I think it really wasn't until my 20s, I battled a little bit with depression, and music truly helped me through those times. Like I remember my dad died when I was 19, and I was in college, and it was a disaster. I was having a really tough time, and I used to just go to there was a practice building not far from my dorm, and I used to just go there all the time and play constantly just to deal with the feelings. But yeah. So yes, I mean, music's always, it's been like a huge part of who I am, but
So I mean, I know we've talked before, and you've told me that it was some sort of a space for you to go and play and to relax and to deal with some of the depression. But I wondered whether when music became a 24/7 occupation for you, did it lose any of its therapeutic value?
not really. I mean, truly, it's a weird world, but we started Rockapella started because I sang a cappella in high school, and then when I was in college, I joined one of the college a cappella groups, and then we started Rockapella after that. But I think there was I've said this before, but I think there's this actual like good, I just feel good singing, like close harmony. There's something about singing with other guys and singing in close harmony. I sang in the chorus as well, and it just physically feels good. So that never changed. I mean, even sitting down and playing the piano and singing actually physically feels good. There's something about it that feels good. Wow. I can't say why. It's just maybe the human thing about music and singing. But weirdly, when after I left Rockapella, I played, I had a little jazz combo for a couple of years. I wrote a lot of music. I played out, and then my business took over, and I just got really busy, and I stopped playing as much. And so for a number of years, I was playing once in a while, like once a month or something. I would come down and sit down at the piano and play. So it really wasn't until the cancer diagnosis and everything that came with that, that I, you know, it was a process to get back to playing all the time, and realizing, like, why the hell wasn't I playing? Why am I not playing all the time? And it's something I love to do, and that, I think that's what, you know, cancer kind of focuses your, you know, sort of life. Like, why am I not doing the things that I love to do? And, you know, on top of the fact that, you know, I don't know, I was scared, really scared. I'm not cursing. I was really scared, and I had a tremendous amount of anxiety about, you know, you get a cancer diagnosis, you know, it's existential. So, you know, I realized
we'll definitely get to that later on. But right now, we're so pleased you came back to playing. That's number one. Number two, I was going to ask you how Rockapella came about, but you kind of covered that. I think you might have seen he didn't see my note. I just want to tell you, he did not see my notes, but we did cover that. What we really want to do is hear you play. So why don't you introduce your first set, and then we'll talk some more.
Thanks, Rick. So this is a cover. I actually sang this a cappella with a group before Rockapella, called the Lemmings, and I didn't sing lead on it, but I love the song. So, do I seem as cheerful as a schoolboy playing hooky? And do I seem to gurgle like a baby with a cookie? If I do, the cause of it all is you. You make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring has sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy individual. The moment that you speak, I want to go play hide and seek. I want to go and bounce the moon just like a toy balloon. You and I are just like a couple of tots running across a meadow, picking up lots of forget-me-nots. You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung, bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna feel the way I do today, 'cause you make me feel so young. You make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring is sprung, and every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy individual. The moment that you speak, I wanna go play hide and seek. I wanna go and bounce the moon just like a toy balloon. You and I are just like a couple of tots running across a meadow, picking up lots of forget-me-nots. Now you make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung and bells to be rung and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna feel the way I do today, 'cause you make me feel so, you make me feel so, you make me feel so young, so young, so young. Thanks. I can't see you. Are you there, Rick?
I am right here. I took myself away.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, I took myself away because we don't want to distract from the star. Is that all we're going to hear in the first set?
No, I'll do another song.
Okay, do another song. We love that. We want more songs.
Silence after the song is over. It's crazy.
Okay, I'll clap. After the next one, I'll clap. Okay.
This next song is a song that I wrote. That is, well, to be honest, I was a 1 foot out the door kind of guy. I had a lot of trouble committing, and this is sort of a reverse. I wrote it about her, but it's really about me. Anyway, here we go. You can turn to meditation or the wisdom of a song. Read the fortune in a cookie or the love lines on your palm. But sooner or right now, dear, your decision has to come. Is it never or forever, my love? My friends are trace supported. They say one day at a time. My mother, on the other hand, says waiting is a crime. Will I ever have a grandchild? Two would be sublime. Is it never or forever, my love? I always look for someone who'd have both feet in the door. Even placed a classified, seeks love and kids galore. I bent the rules and dated friends, even colleagues once or twice. But you're the one I'd wake to if I lived in paradise. I never planned to risk it all and try to turn the tide. But my hair is getting thinner, my prostate oversized. So tell me yes, or let me go to find another bride. Is it never or forever? Darling, let your heart decide. Is it never or forever, my love?
I'm back. Hold on. I'm here.
Thanks. I still think it's the only song that I've ever heard that has the word prostate in it. So I had to.
I was busy concentrating and I missed that. Now I got to listen to it again.
I'll tell you the line. It's my hair is getting thinner, prostate's oversized. I basically wrote PH years before I even knew what it was. Anyway, okay. Last song I'm going to do in this set is a song that I used to sing with Rockapella. My very, very good friend and co-founder of Rockapella, Sean Altman, wrote the lyrics about me, and I wrote the music. So here it is. Mine is the kingdom of shy. I'm a consequential, lonely guy, and don't try to lend me a smile. I've got grins piled up to the sky. There's not too much time for friends. My official duties never end. Wanna break from my throne and fly from the castle in the kingdom of shy. A buttery day, my battery's wound on the tail of my prey on a merry-go-round. My tongue is alive and man, am I stumping for something or one thing to get me pumping. Mine is the kingdom of shy. I'm a monumentally me kind of guy. Is there some paperback I can buy that'll teach this pony to fly? An 8-hour train, she sat next to me. She told me her name, put her hand on my knee. The conversation started to deepen. I spent it pretending that I was sleeping. Mine is the kingdom of shy. I'm a bona fidely bashful guy. I'm not one who likes to testify. Oh, but I try, Lord knows how I'm trying. Sit da 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 beep ba do beep da do ba be zoo ba do ba sit it ba de ba do beep ba do dum. Standing in the breakdown lane, looking like you can't explain. Thumbs out, the sign says going my way. I slowed it, unrolled it, hold it, then sped away. Such is the kingdom of shy. For me, I'm the quintessential quiet guy. I can't teach a pony to fly, but I try, Lord knows how I'm trying. And one day you might see this pony fly straight up in the sky with a lottery smile, direct non-stop one way out from the kingdom of shy. I am the monumental monarch of the kingdom of shy guys.
We love it. The chat is exploding, and it's not only just from Jules and Eli and Debbie. I just want to tell you, there's a lot of other people who are really, really enjoying this. We're loving it. We're loving it. So let's just talk a little bit more. I'm curious how you mentioned how Rockapella sort of came about through college friends, but how did you really get in? When did you know you were going to be a professional performer, and how did you get into Rockapella, and how did Rockapella come into Carmen Sandiego?
That's a good question. We never knew we were going to make. We just had fun, and we thought, why not give it a go and see what happens? And we mostly sang on the street and did very small parties. But the guy who owned the comic strip on the East Side, which was a comedy club on the Upper East Side, he saw us and handed us his card and just said, anytime you guys want to come and play, we'd love to have you. And so we started playing at comedy clubs and becoming, trying to do shtick and become funnier. Like we'd work on 3 or 4 songs and we would do them, and then we would work on 3 or 4 more, and eventually we built a show. And it was one thing led to another. And actually, there was a TV show called Spike and Company Do It Acapella, which was the sort of the state of acapella at the time. And the producers had heard about us and then came and saw us at the comic strip. We did a little segment for them, and then they brought us on the show. And that was really our first big national TV. And that led to Carmen Sandiego, because the producers of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego watched that Spike Lee special and saw us and had this weird idea of like having an a cappella group be the house band on a TV show. So, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now, what memory in particular stands out the most from Where in the World is? I mean, you did 150 shows. There must have been some great things that happened. Give us
200.
one story. 200, excuse me. Okay.
I don't know. I think my favorite segment we ever did, we used to do these weird segments. Like we would give clues. Like the Elvis thing was a clue, actually. But we used to do clues, and we did one where we sang, it was a Beatles song, and then we became the Meet the Beatles album cover. It was this weird transformation of the 4 of us with wigs, Beatles wigs, and it was great. And so that was very memorable.
You got fans who remember it. I'm looking at the chat window here, and you got fans who remember that. Now, had you done Elvis before you did Elvis? I mean, you do such a wonderful Elvis. Can you give us that lip? Can you give us that lip? Can you still do it? Come on, can you?
Can't do it.
Okay.
No, I don't think I'd ever done Elvis before. It was just a lark.
Just a lark. And
Really?
how many times did you do Elvis on the show?
Just that one time. That was it. It was just that one. That was it.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
But it was fun.
Oh my gosh. And then you left Where in the World is you left Rockapella, right? At the end of
Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego ended in around 94, 95. I left Rockapella in 2004. I was the last original member of Rockapella, and they're still around. But I was ready to be home with my family. And, you know, I pretty much, it had run its course for me. So I was happy to come home and be here with the boys. One of them's upstairs, one's in college.
So you stopped performing, you came back home, you'd finished, did you finish college? I assume you finished college.
Did I?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I finished college. We started Rockapella after I waited for Sean was 2 years younger than me. So I waited for Sean to graduate. And then once there were a core group of guys who graduated, then that's when we started Rockapella. So I had already left college. I had a job I was an engineer at New York Telephone for a year.
Really? Oh my gosh. Oh my, climbing up telephone poles, or
No. No. I was planning massive multi-million-dollar installations in those buildings that have no windows.
Oh, wow, cool. So what did you transition into? You said you started a business earlier on, and so what did you transition into?
Oh, so after Rockapella, well, the last 3 years that I was in Rockapella, I worked part-time on the TV show Sex and the City as an accountant, 3 days a week. So I would work. I don't think a lot of like people, like when I was in Rockapella, I never really talked about it much, but I would work for like Tuesday through Thursday, and then Friday I'd go to the airport and fly to wherever we were playing, and then I'd come back on Monday and then go straight to the studio. So so I learned film production accounting. My sister-in-law was the accountant on Sex and the City, and so she taught me the business, which was lovely. And since then, I've been in that business doing film production accounting of one kind or another.
So, as somebody says, the singing accountant, are you ready to sing a second set?
Sure, I'm happy to. This next song I wrote this song with one of the guys who was one of the early producers of Rockapella music, and he wrote some really important songs in Rockapella's history, Billy Strauss. And I used to sing this, it was from a long time ago, but it was about, in a sense, it was about depression in a way. Well, for me anyway, personally, but when I'm down and the world ain't on my side, and my breathing don't come easy, Rock River, roll me and rest my weary soul, and leave my pain a while. Sweet water rise, drown all my sorrows. No, you're never gonna let me fall. And Rock River, hold me and heal me in your arms. Let the magic of your world wash over me. You lift me up when I'm filled with weakness. You bring a little water to me in the desert heat, in the still of my reflection. 10,000 words without a sound turn me around. And shadows fall and hearts sadly linger. Memories fade to black and white. Rock River, send me where teardrops never fall, and I'll leave this world a while. You lift me up when I'm filled with weakness. You bring a little water to me in the desert heat, in the still of my reflection. 10,000 words without a sound. You turn me around when I'm down and the world ain't on my side, and my breathing don't come easy. And Rock River, roll me, rest my weary soul, and leave my pain a while.
Brilliant. Keep going. I'm not going to come back on. Keep going.
This next song I wrote for Debbie, my wife, who's upstairs as well. And not much more to say about it. I always had a penchant for the most sadistic paramour, and love was something I could only dream of. I was in a major drought, but knew somehow that you were out there. I just needed to get lucky. Back when I met you, I was filled with shame. My worst addictions had left me all but lame. Then you laid your heart wide open, and this boy started hoping I'd go from nothing to everything with you. Life's highest hurdles I can leap with ease. If you desert me, I'd wither on my knees. Call it screwed up or old-fashioned, but you're my only passion. I've gone from nothing to everything with you. Years seem to fly, and our tune's still the same. I hum your praises all day. Fear and anxiety once soared above, now they're a grace note, and our love so lovely. Never imagined life could be this full. Feeling so happy was inconceivable. When you smile, you light the world for me. Kiss me, I'm in heaven. I've gone from nothing to everything with you. Never imagined life could be this full. Feeling so happy was inconceivable. When you smile, you light the world for me. Kiss me, I'm in heaven. I've gone from nothing to everything with you. I've gone from nothing to everything with you.
Yes. Keep them coming. Keep them
Thank you.
coming.
All right, this is my last song I'm going to do. It's also another song that I wrote for Debbie, but I did actually arrange this for Rockapella, and I sang it with Rockapella. And it was on that album that was playing at the beginning at the beginning of the. Let's see if I can wing this. Knotted and confused, I was alone. Thunder clouds were rolling, you came along. Cupid was out strolling, lightning had struck, but no rain would fall. My fantasy life had me in a pickle. Who'd be my wife? I could be so fickle. How could I doubt when there's no doubt at all? Knotted and confused, I loved you and yet refused. Getting close was not my style, but my life turned around when I reconciled. Now that you're near, life is so delicious, melting my fears, fulfilling all my wishes with you in my arms. There's no doubt at all. Oh, we ain't hey, is it but we bum bim but zip be but we beat out. There's no doubt at all. I was set to stun. I'd love girls then hit and run, all mixed up and on the brink. I could throw it away or just call my shrink. Now that you're near, life is so delicious. With luck in a year, you'll be obstetricious with you in my arms. There's no doubt, here in my arms, there's no doubt. How can I doubt when there ain't no doubt at all?
Whoa, we love it. We love it. We've only got an hour. Keep those questions coming in on the chat window, please, audience. We've got a bunch that I've got to cover, but I've got a lot of questions. And if you didn't figure out yet, it ain't too difficult for Elliott and I to converse. I'd like to talk a little bit now about the role music has played since you got diagnosed with your cancer. And you mentioned earlier on that it kind of brought you back to playing more regularly. You want to talk about that first? Because that's
Sure.
what this show is all about.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's really happened. I mean, I was diagnosed in October of 2019, and it's just scary as hell. And it took me, I spent a year doing what they call active surveillance, as you know. And it was the right decision, but there's still anxiety. You're living with cancer and you know it, and you're watching it and making sure that it's not getting worse. But what I realized was I was having, I'd wake up at 2 a.m. in, cold sweat and a lot of dark nights of the soul. So I needed a lot of help. So I went to a bunch of different support groups. I eventually found ANCAN, which was incredibly instrumental in trying to, in helping me in so many ways. And I learned some techniques. I learned how to hypnotize myself to calm down. And the other thing that I realized was, what am I doing? I'd much rather not work quite as much and spend more time with Debbie and the boys and spend more time doing the things I like. So I play the piano more, and I just started playing a lot more and singing, and I work out a lot. I have a thing called a kick bike, which is a cross between a bicycle and a scooter. And I do that. I ride that almost every other day. And I love it. I feel like a kid when I'm on it. So I'm just trying to.
I just want to add, most of the time you manage to stay upright on that, but not all the time.
Yes. I had a really crazy accident in the park in June, but I'm pretty much recovered from that one.
Like
Thanks for bringing-
the prostate cancer wasn't enough. You had to get yourself back in the hospital again just when you're recovering, my man.
I was April, May, June. I was like 3 months out of recovering from treatment for the cancer, and then I had that horrible fall and ended up in the emergency room. But you gotta live. So that's
Talk to me. Go ahead.
that's really the point is, like, I think figuring out doing the things you love to do, because that's what life really is about. And so I don't know why I was not doing it, but clearly it's one of the things that I love to do. So that's why. And also it makes me, like I said before, it makes me feel good to play the piano and sing. And that's really important, like to feel good every day when you're feeling like, holy shit, I have cancer.
Yeah. So there are a couple of questions on this, so I'm just going to slip them in right now. I think it was, yes, Tremaine says, asks, any ways you didn't share already how you've used your art to heal or stay joyous? I mean, this is really what we're talking about now, right, Elliott?
Yeah, that is what we're talking about. One thing I should say, which I don't think we've said, is that I'm cancer-free right now. I usually lead with that because it's hard to not hear that. But yeah.
No, and it's huge for those who don't know. About 30 to 35% of people with prostate cancer do recur. So to stay cancer-free is very, very, very significant, and we love that, and we want to keep you that way. And we know that the less anxiety you have, and the more anxiety we at ANCAN can get you to disseminate and disperse, the more likely you are to stay cancer-free.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's all of the above. Like I think it's exercise, diet. I'm trying to sleep 7 hours a night. I take some supplements, and yeah, and I'm trying to stay calmer and less stress and more fun.
So somebody, just to go back onto what you were talking about before with the kick biking, we have another question. People want to know what do you do outside of music and work? What else is part of your life?
Well, Debbie and I have lunch together every day. Yes.
Wow, that's wonderful.
She's an artist, and she's up in her art studio painting all day, but then she comes down and picks me up and we have lunch. And we have a family dinner pretty much every night, which has always been important to us. And we play a lot of games. Like Debbie and I play cribbage. We play a lot of games. We like Splendor. We play a lot of games. So, we spend time playing games. We watch some TV,
Who does the cooking in your house?
Debbie does the cooking. I really suck at cooking.
And the boys? Are the boys cooks?
Eli is a really good cook. And he's back from college. He graduated from college, so he's here, and he makes dinner, I don't know, probably once or twice a week. And he's a really good cook. And Debbie's a great cook. So Jules just put something on the chat. I didn't see what it was, but he said something.
I'm busy looking at the chat, but I missed it. It didn't.
No worries. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Jules has been putting wonderful things in the chat. Oh, he wants everybody to know that he does cook eggs.
Oh, he does. I can cook eggs.
Well, I have been known to send grapefruit from down here in deep southern Arizona to people like Jimmy G, who was making some rude comments before, and Len. We also have chickens here. So maybe I need to start sending eggs to we have blue eggs down here on this ranch. So maybe I need to start sending that. I want to ask another cancer question. And I think this is something that a lot of people who are diagnosed with cancer, are treated for cancer, and then are fortunate enough to go into remission. What is the role of Cancerland for you today that you're in remission?
It's been interesting. The after treat, it's the while I was on active surveillance and while I was a moderator on the active surveillance weekly meeting, I was going to a million webinars and learning as much as I could. I was literally learning everything I could to be a good advocate. But after treatment, I realized, like, in a way, it's sort of like a bridge back to life. Like, do I really need to be going to every webinar? Because right now I really need to know what, I'm hoping I'm not going to need more treatment. So it's interesting. Like, I go to several monthly meetings, that support group meetings that I think are really important emotionally. And so more of the support that I need now is emotional support. They're really, it's a weird thing, like, I was talking to this. I have a social worker from Cancer Care who's who they assigned to me also, that the specialist in cancer, and she was just saying, the truth is, you're still a cancer patient. I'm still getting tested every 6 months. I can't completely divorce myself from Cancerland, and nor do I necessarily want to. I don't want to spend as much time thinking about it and talking about it as I was, and I don't think I need to right now. And I think I want to just, and most of my time I spend, living. So, but, if it occurs.
But I want to add something that you've done, which has been so helpful to several guys already, which is, by paying it forward and talking to other guys about your experience at Memorial Sloan Kettering, your experience with your surgeon, and smoothing the path for them from the experience you had.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that you had mentioned before is like the fact that I'm like talking about it, that I'm out now. I mean, like, I was very private. I've been extremely private in my life for many, many years. After I left Rockapella, I've been incredibly private. And it's a big decision to talk about, publicly talk about cancer. But ultimately, when I do talk about it, then there's almost always somebody who says, oh, I had a high PSA, or I wasn't sure if I should get my PSA. And the answer is yes, you should get your PSA tested.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know a lot more now than we did. And, so I feel like there's that part of it, which is, it's, I very happy to talk to guys about it, and also to, in a way, advocate, both for, ANCAN, without ANCAN, I would have been, dead in the water in so many ways. I learned so many things about getting second opinions. ANCAN's motto is be your own best advocate. And I really needed that. I needed exactly.
Do I have it? There you go.
I'm telling you, if it wasn't for you guys, I would not have done what I did and gone down some of the paths that I went down to be my own best advocate and get the treatment that I got, So I'm phenomenally grateful, but I think it's hugely important.
So those of you who are regulars here with Solo Arts Heal will remember it might have been the last full live show we did was with our dear friend, Elliott's good friend, my good friend, Jimmy Greenfield. And Jimmy writes in the chat window here, cancer brought me some things I can do without. Elliott Kerman isn't one of them. So, we love you too. We love you too, Jimmy. We're watching here.
Yeah.
So, tell me more. Let's draw down a little bit about this going public, because this is another issue that so many people have to wrestle with. Is, are they going to tell people? Who are they going to tell? How do they handle this in the workplace? How do they handle it with family?
Yes, exactly.
All of the above.
I mean, I run a business. I have great clients that I've been working with for many years. Most of my clients I've been working with for 10, 15 years. And, you know, I don't want them to think that I'm not capable of doing what I do.
Sure.
I am, but I think that's part of why I was able to talk about it now after I've been cancer free for 6 months. But it's hard. It's hard to, it's also super personal. I mean, like, I don't know how to explain it, to say it other than that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's more personal than, like, feeling like your own mortality in a way. It's really weird, but
Well, and unfortunately, with prostate cancer in particular, we're dealing with intimacy, and we're dealing with incontinence, we're dealing with erectile dysfunction, all subjects that are very difficult to talk about, even in the best of circumstances. And whilst it's easier to talk about them in the context of a support group with peers, it ain't easy to be talking about that stuff outside. And sometimes those issues come up when people find out that you have prostate cancer. Or
yes, that is true.
I know.
Yeah. But I'd like to look at I've been like my motto for this year has been, even through the pandemic, was, and I actually carry a little card that says silver linings on it. And to look at, I think I like to look at the silver linings, and there have been silver linings from this too. You just deal with what you got to deal with, but there's always, like I hear a huge silver lining is I'm back playing the piano and singing, and and spending more time with people I love. That's a huge silver lining.
So we've got a few music questions here, and I'm going to throw them all at you, and then you talk about whatever people want to know. Who's your favorite musician? People want to know, how long have you been writing? When did you start writing? Are you still writing? We've got favorite musicians I mentioned. Go ahead.
Hang on one sec. Okay, so I started writing pretty young. Didn't write much. Then I took composing in college. Didn't write much, and I did start fooling around with writing after that. But it wasn't until I was in Rockapella that I felt like I wanted to contribute a little bit. So I wrote some. I wasn't a huge writer in Rockapella, but I did want to be part of that. So that sort of was the impetus for that. And then after I left Rockapella, it was crazy. I don't know what happened, but it was like this huge space opened up, and I wrote basically an album's worth of material. Some of the songs that I played tonight, and that was really fun. But I haven't been writing. I write occasionally. I haven't been like concerted, like trying to write lyrics and really sitting down to write. But I write. I mean, I fool around. I extemporize, and sometimes it comes out. Sometimes I write it down, and but I haven't actually finished a song in a long time.
So did you study music theory, or?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
My mom she's incredible. I'm sure she's watching, but she came to every one of my shows in New York that I ever did, all through the years. She's an incredible supporter. But I played the drums when I was a kid. I started when I was 5, and I played the drums till I was about 13. Then I played the sax. I took music. My mom got me a theory teacher. I went to Juilliard for a little while, and then but in college I really learned music theory a lot. I took several music theory classes, and so I love music theory. And
so now here's a question from Jules. Who's your favorite? Oh, I can't answer. I can't ask that question. I can't ask that question.
I heard
you can imagine. No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
I'll tell you Hey, favorite musician is really tough because I like so many different genres, but
Yeah.
I love funk growing up. I love Earth, Wind and Fire, but I love the Beatles. But jazz, I love. Probably my two favorite records are Blues Moods by Blue Mitchell and Relaxin' with the Miles Davis Quintet. But I also love Houston Person, who's just a phenomenal tenor sax player and great. And I've seen him play several times, and he's fantastic.
So I'm keeping one eye on the clock here, and I'm wondering if there's any way we can twist your arm to do an encore. Would you be willing to do that?
I would be happy to do it.
Thank you.
All right. This song I used to sing with Rockapella all the time, but never played on the piano, so good luck to me. Let's take a boat to Bermuda. Let's take a plane to St. Paul. Let's grab a kayak to Quincy or Nyack. Let's get away from it all. Let's take a trip in a trailer. No need to come back at all. Let's take a powder to Boston for chowder. Let's get away from it all. We'll travel around from town to town. We'll visit every state. I'll repeat, I love you, sweet, and all the 48. Let's go again to Niagara. This time we'll look at the fall. Let's leave our hut, dear, get out of our rut, dear. Let's get away from it all. A sitting deep beep button yada beep. So beep beep no beep bop bo. Sit beep beep up but oh wee oh. The beep bop whip bop oh. Sitting deep bop bop oh. Lady da bo beep bang beep bow bop ba wee wee oh. Yes, we'll travel around from town to town. We'll visit every state, Alaska and Hawaii too, and then all the 48. Come on, baby, let's go into Niagara. This time we'll look at the fall. Let's leave our hut, dear, get out of our rut, dear. Let's get away. Let's get away from it all.
Well, I wanted to join in. I wanted to join in. I love that. That's one of my favorite songs. Who wrote that, Elliott?
Who wrote it? It was Tom Adair and Matt Dennis.
Okay. All right. Now I'm none the wiser, but I love that. I love that song. I love it. Well, in case the audience hasn't realized, I've enjoyed this immensely. Not just listening, but talking and exchanging ideas, Elliott. It's been an honor, and it's been a real pleasure. And judging by the action in the window here, in the chat window, I think I'm not the only one. Even people other than Jules have enjoyed this.
Thank you. I can't tell you how grateful I am to you for not just, I mean, I'm grateful to you, but in addition, I'm grateful for you for you having me to do this. It's been really, it's a challenge, to be honest, like to actually play the piano and sing, but which I never did, you know, being in an a cappella group, but this is really, it really is. I'm super grateful. I can't tell you. Thank you.
And we are too. So audience, I just a quick few words. Don't forget the tip jar. Please don't forget the Marsh Stream tip jar for this wonderful show. Next month we're going to have hi Jules. We love it. Next, Jules, I haven't eaten yet. Could you make me some eggs?
Eli,
Uh,
school, college.
Oh, it's Eli. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's Eli.
It's all
It
good.
is Eli. Oh my gosh, I've never met Eli before. Hello, Eli. I'm embarrassing myself. I just wanted to say that next month we have another outstanding performer who's going to be equally as good, and we're really excited to welcome Naya next. No, I have to get this right. Excuse me, I messed that up. Naya, I got it right the first time, Naya. I'm sorry. And we'll be talking to you next month. And I'm going to turn it back over to Brianna to close out. Your son threw me.
Okay. Well, thank you, Rick. Thank you, Elliott. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Next month, we have singer-songwriter, visual artist, and mental health advocate Nair Na shares songs and an animated video from her latest album, Everything Stands Back Up. Please visit our website for more information on our upcoming shows for the rest of this week, live and in person, and on Zoom. Don't forget to donate to our tip jar, and we hope to see you next time. Have a good evening.